Hey guys, it's Matt here, and... No, I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm done. Nope. $80. $80! Fuck it. God. Fuck this. Fuck it. Oh my god. $80. Okay, let's do this. Oh boy, was I excited to play Battlefield 2042, because who wouldn't be excited about a new next-gen Battlefield experience with all-out warfare, 128 players, huge maps, and a futuristic setting. Sure, the open beta was kind of a mess, but I had fun and it couldn't be that bad on release, right? I mean, Battlefield is known for its bumpy releases, but DICE learned from their mistakes, and this one is fine, right? Well, let's talk about that. Battlefield 2042 is broken as shit. Of the 10 hours I put into the game as of now, 4 were spent trying to make the game work properly. Whether I'm talking about searching for solutions for the glaring performance issues or simply being locked out of the game altogether, for me this has been the most frustrating Battlefield release ever. Chances are that you, just like me, don't have a PC the size of a refrigerator, and where all the reviews I've seen so far complain about the game not steadily running above 100 FPS, I in the meantime was just hoping the game would at some point get anywhere near at least 60 FPS. But no, the game says, we're just gonna show you this very nice looking, smooth running main menu and then massage your eyeballs with sandpaper as soon as you join a match. I paid $80 to pre-order this game so I could play it in early access. All I'm doing right now is watching a screen that says unable to load persistence data. I don't even know what the f that means. DICE in the meantime is just like, haha, oopsie whoopsie, we did a fucky wucky, and YouTubers and live streamers all say, hey, this game is great. Well, I wish I could say the same thing, but I can't fucking play it. $80, people. $80 God. So let's start off with the all-out warfare mode. Although, what can I say about it? Sure, it's 128 players, but a part of that is just shit AI, which can only be incredibly, ridiculously stupid, or suddenly overpowered as balls. Sure, the new maps look very cool, but with a frame rate this bad, I might as well just copy and paste some screenshots into a PowerPoint presentation for a smoother experience. Sure, the weapons look cool and the gunplay is pretty snappy, but that doesn't matter if the hit registration decides that you're not allowed to kill anything. Why, DICE? Why did you release the game like this? Do I really have to pay $5,000 for a new PC before I can even remotely play this game? Actually, I don't even think I want to play this game at this point, since it doesn't even feel like a Battlefield game anymore. I do want to give it some credit for the sheer size of every map, the amounts of vehicles you can choose from, and the fact that you pretty much see a war brewing up around every corner. That's what I've always liked about Battlefield, and in that regard it really does look the part and feel like a next-gen experience. But it's just completely unplayable. So after 4 hours of troubleshooting, I found out that crossplay makes the game go Performance can be slightly bumped up by setting the graphics up in a certain way, changing stuff in the game files, doing some console commands. No, I'm not kidding, I did all of this for hours. And I just really wanted to like this game. But if I'm not able to play it normally, how can I form an opinion on the actual gameplay? Even when I do have a somewhat normal frame rate, this game is just frustrating as hell. The specialist system, which already garnered overwhelmingly negative reviews so far, just doesn't do it for me. Since the game doesn't have a class system anymore, every single person can hold any sort of weapon, any sort of equipment, and it can be an enemy just as well as a teammate. Sure, I can sometimes make out which character can revive me and which one can give me ammo, but how do I know which ones are friendly and which ones are the enemy? How do I know if I'm going up against someone with a sniper or a light machine gun? Why can I not equip both a rocket launcher and a repair tool as an engineer? It's these sorts of things that make so much of the gameplay just intensely frustrating. No fucking way that DICE is still remotely interested in the team play aspect that I deem one of the most important parts of a Battlefield game. It's 128 players all for themselves, and that becomes even more obvious when you reach the end match screen and only see rewards being handed out for individual game performance instead of team play. I could just call it a day and end the review right here, because I can wholeheartedly say, please just don't don't buy this game yet. If you don't have the latest hardware, the game will run like shit and it will only piss you off. Just wait for the first few patches, keep an eye on reviews and people online, and when this game becomes remotely playable, only then consider buying it. Because even though the game is completely broken right now, I gotta be honest, not everything is terrible. Thank fuck we have Battlefield Portal, the saving grace for my whole 2042 experience. The game mode that should have just been the whole game, because it's literally everything and more on top of that. Making a game out of combining 3 previous games in combination with this one is just genius. Especially after I just went back to Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, this game mode is just so incredibly addicting and cool. In one match you're attacking objectives in the beautifully remade maps of Bad Company 2, the other moment you're in a goddamn Tiger tank, then you're playing Battlefield 3 in new maps, you're fighting against Stukas in Abram tanks. It's glorious! The promotional material promised us endless possibilities and they weren't lying. This game mode also just has the all-out warfare experience you should have in the base game, but here the frame rate is actually not terrible, mostly because you can even choose to go into 64 or 32 player matches. Battlefield Portal is the most fun I've had in a long time, and I seriously can't wait for people to come up with even more ridiculous game modes. And no, it's not perfect. Hit registration is still pretty bad, the frame rate definitely isn't consistent, and there are more than enough servers right now where you can cheese your way through the levels and weapons of this game. But by God, don't you think it's awesome to be able to play in so many different Battlefield experiences all at once? And the class systems are actually available here from previous games. Come on, DICE, you fixed your own game inside your own game by using your own games. There's no useful reason to play anything else other than Portal, because Portal is at this point the most complete part of the game. I really hope that DICE will continue to add new stuff to Portal, including parts of other Battlefield titles. The potential is here, I just hope it won't get stale in the long run. My first impressions of Battlefield 2042 are not good. I've seen people have a lot of fun with this game already, and that's understandable because there is potential, but the performance is so inconsistent that I just cannot recommend it at this point. Even if you're able to get into a match after the game gives you constant persistent data errors, you'll be greeted by a buggy 128 player fast with graphics that are not awful, but arguably less impressive than the previous 2 Battlefield iterations. As far as I've experienced the game right now, some things that annoyed me in the open beta have been fixed, only to be followed up by even bigger problems. Inconsistent hit registration and even more performance issues are the most obvious ones. But for me personally, the biggest problem is that the all-out warfare mode in its core just isn't for me. The introduction of the specialists and the weapon attachment system known as the plus system in combination with the removal of the classes are not necessarily bad, but it's not what I'm playing Battlefield for. Sure, I can understand that DICE and EA might want to reach a bigger audience and introduce specialists since it worked so well for Call of Duty, but is it still a Battlefield game if you remove the parts that actually make it a Battlefield game? The huge 128 player maps with the insane amount of vehicles make for an incredible game with ongoing action and destruction. But in my opinion, this game gets carried by Battlefield Portal. More content, great fan favorite maps, weapons and gadgets, the class system stays, and so much possibility to mix and match several different Battlefield experiences. I'd like to end this video by saying what I've already said. Don't buy this game yet. Yes, Battlefield Portal is amazing in my opinion, but it cannot weigh up against the glaring flaws that the game is dealing with this early on. Yet. It's only the second day of its early access release, so a lot can still change, and I haven't even played the Hazard Zone game mode yet. So those are all things you have to take into consideration when you think about buying the game. When the dust has settled and the game has been out for a little longer, I'll make a full release on the game. But until then, thank you for watching. If you've already bought the game, let me know in the comments what your experience with the game has been so far. I'd really like to know if other people have the same issues with the game as well. Also, if you like this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. I'll be posting more Battlefield related content in the upcoming weeks, as well as other videos. But for now, thank you and bye!